Hello, so welcome back to She's at the Vicarage, and week 2 of the Bowlful of Lemons challenge is the office. Tidying, cleaning, organising, decluttering, everything to do with the office. And so that's where we are today. Normally, this time after Christmas, you join me in the most messy, awful, disorganised office that you can imagine. I'm sure you remember from other previous years that my office isn't that cared for. It's a bit of a dumping ground, but this year is an exception because just after Christmas we had some friends to stay with 3 children and we converted my office into a bedroom for the children. And so here you can see that my office had to be clean and tidy for them to be able to stay in it. That means that we start the office declutter, organise and tidy in a very different position to normal, in that it's already clean and tidy. That's not to say that it is perfect. There are still areas that could do with a bit of work, and so one of them is my bookshelf. And I have this plan with my bookshelf that every year I'm going to clear a shelf so that by the time 10 years have passed by, if we move in 10 years, we won't be taking all these books. The books that you can see on this bookshelf, in fact, I've halved my book collection over the last probably 4 years. But there are still many books. I've worked out that if I read 1 book a week for 10 years, I will actually read all the books that I have. That's how many I have. So whether I'm going to get the books all read, I don't know, but my challenge is to clear a shelf a year, and I'm not doing too well at that. The bottom shelf, as you can see, is still full of paper clutter and something that I need to work on, probably not this week, but something I'll work on this year. But while the shelves are stacked full, it means I just leave things as they are. So what I'm going to do to challenge myself this Bowlful of Lemons week is to take everything off the shelves, to touch each book, to look at each book and decide, actually, do I want this to have a home on my shelf? Am I ever going to read it? Or really, is it time to let it go, pass it on and let someone else have a read of it? And so we're going to start work on taking off and dusting and cleaning my books and my bookshelves. And so I thought while I was doing the bookshelf, I'd also have a little look back. There's so many YouTube videos at the moment on the looking back to 2024. I thought I'd have a little look back at 2024 while you watch me go through and tidy this bookcase. And particularly looking through my achievements, so much of me has a tendency to become a perfectionist and want ideal things. I wanted to get my bathroom done. I wanted to do this and that in 2024. So this look back is just a chance for me to look at the 5 best things that actually I have achieved in the year that make a difference in my life. And so number 5 is the box that I put on the shelf in my bathroom. If you remember last year when we did the Bowlful of Lemons challenge in the bathroom, I created this box, and I created it to store my things in, but to have a box that I can take out and actually see my things, and it has been a fantastic addition. If you remember, it was just an old box that I had, and it was using some leftover laminate covering that I'd had from the pantry to make the box covered, and it's held up really well. I'm really proud of this box. And so putting the box on the top shelf in the bathroom cupboard was a fantastic idea in 2024, and I found it really helpful just to be able to carry that box around with me and to go through it from time to time. So the box is a brilliant addition. Number 2 was a really practical thing that I did in 2024. If you remember in my video where I thought about moving and the difference that moving can make in your life, I talked about thinking about the practical uses of a room, so it's not just left and abandoned because I want it to be one thing. And the dining room was one such room. We kept it as a dining room for many years because it was a dining room, but actually it serves our family much better as a sort of computer playroom for our children at the stage that they're at now. In our lives, it's a lot better. So number 4 was sorting out and transforming the dining room into a shared space. It's worked really brilliantly. When we had guests over the other week. The children were able to just hang out in that room, and then in the morning we were able to get the table out and have breakfast all around the table. So it works well as a dining room still, but it also works well as a games room too. So that was number 4. I think my number 3 on the list of things I've achieved in 2024 that I'm really happy about was my bench, decorating and restoring my bench and my bench cushion. I really enjoyed that project. I enjoyed doing something outside, and I really made use of that bench over the summer, and probably intend to do a little bit more on my garden furniture this coming year as well. So I'm inspired by the bench transformation that I did in 2024. Before we move on to number 2, and after having the shelves all clean and tidy, another area to think about, and that's thinking about those areas that we never really clean. So getting my desk out and cleaning behind it is something that I'm going to do now. Another one is cleaning my office chair. My office chair is used most days, and yet when I looked at the back of it I realised how disgusting it was. So I gave it a quick clean, for want of a better word. I got out some of the dust from behind it before our guests came and stayed in this room. But let's just give my office chair a complete clean now. We go, I've got a completely clean chair now. So the last 2 highlights of 2024, and one of the best things, 2 in my list of amazing things that I managed to achieve in 2024 was my greenhouse area. Really restoring the greenhouse, cleaning it, replacing the panes, doing the frame around the bottom of it, clearing the area by it. I am just so happy with that space in my garden. There's a lot of mess in my garden, a lot of garden to sort out, but to have just done that little space made me so happy. It's a lovely place to be when the weather gets a bit warmer, and so I'm really happy with the greenhouse, and I think it taught me just doing a little bit makes a difference, rather than trying to do the whole lot, but just taking my time, 15 minutes at a time over the weeks and months, actually made a huge difference to that area in 2024. And then number 1, my most favourite thing that I did and achieved in 2024 just has to be my pantry. It was such a bland and boring area. It was just a cupboard, really, where it stored our food. And now when I open the door, I just feel so happy with the transformation that I managed to achieve with the green and the gold and the stained glass window. It is just my happy room, and hopefully it inspires me to put a little bit more of my own stamp on other rooms in the house and not just keep them plain. I can be a minimalist and have style too. That's my challenge for 2025. So there we have it. The office is tidy and clean and ready for a new year. The bookcase has been done, I've cleaned behind the desk, I've cleaned the chair. The only other really area is this area that I'm sitting in now, and this is my writing desk. I am blessed to have this. I bought it and painted it, then I decided not to paint it anymore and I stripped it. And you will know this area because I have my writing area on there. I put myself to 2 things that I'm definitely going to achieve in 2025. One of them is to respond. I end up holding on to cards of people that I want to write back to. So there's cards to respond to here, cards to send. So I'm going to aim to send more cards and write more letters in 2025. So hopefully this will be a much clearer space when you see it at the beginning of 2026 in the office declutter of 2026. I am struggling to close it because my ink is in the way. And then the other area of this office declutter that I am going to challenge myself to do is to deal with my craft drawer. Again, the projects that I hold on to for a year, there's some new ones that built up after the November declutter. So hopefully at the end of 2025, I'll be able to show you this as an empty drawer ready to be filled with some more projects maybe for 2026. or maybe just a clear drawer that I can put something else into. So there's 2 challenges here in the office to get cleared as we move forward this year, but I hope that you are doing well. I hope if you have an office space that you're going to be inspired to really clean those nooks and crannies and get it done. But thank you for joining me this week, and take care. God bless.